A homestand against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they've got the red-hot Tim Hudson on the mound. The Braves and the Dodgers on Peachtree TV next. Here on Peachtree TV, and as everybody knows by now, John, Chipper is out for the rest of the year with that torn ACL. What options do the Braves have at third base?
Well, it's a big blow, and there's no way to replace a Chipper Jones. The Braves are fortunate to have some options. One of those options is Brooks Conrad. He has had what I call a magical year. You look at some of these statistics. From the 7th inning on, 281 with 6 home runs and 19 RBIs. The only caution I would give Braves fans, although that they have options, it's a little bit harder to plug that hole consistently. The team will play on emotion and adrenaline for only so long. We'll see if they can sustain it over the next 30 or 40 games.
And they do get Martin Prado back from the disabled list at some point over the weekend, maybe Monday. That will certainly help plug the gap as well. But tonight the Dodgers are in town. First of 4 games between the Braves and the Dodgers, and Atlanta's got the red-hot Tim Hudson on the mound. He's won 4 straight. He'll try to keep it going tonight, and we'll have the lineups and first pitch for you coming up next. There's some rain in the area, but temperatures are down a little bit after some rain in the metropolitan area. 83 degrees at game time. And, hey, on the night before his surgery, Chipper Jones thought he'd make one more trek to home plate, only this time it was only to take out the lineup for tonight's ball game. So good to see him here at the ballpark and in uniform. Let's take a look at that lineup. Brought to you by Stone Mountain Park and Evergreen Marriott Resort. For great getaway packages, visit stonemountainpark.com. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, they're missing some guys out of their lineup. Got some guys on the disabled list. Newly acquired Scott Posednik and Ryan Theriot both at the top of the order. Andre Ethier swinging a good bat. James Loney's hit in 5 straight games, and Casey Blake and Matt Kemp. Bottom third of their order, Jamie Carroll, the veteran Brad Ausmus, and Hiroki Kuroda. And they will go against Tim Hudson.
Well, you can give him the comeback player of the year already, and he might get some more hard work coming at the end of the season with a possible Cy Young. You look at those numbers. He's carried the Braves staff. Tremendous ERA. His win-loss record obviously could be much better with some support and lack of rain-out type situations. But I talked with Roger, and he's just confident. He's healthy. He's not having to force his body to throw the baseball. He can stay back, his head staying still. And he's really just bolstered this staff with a 3-0 at home and 0.43 ERA winning streak. And hopefully he can continue that against the Dodger team that's going in a different direction, Joe.
Yeah, they've lost 10 of their last 15 ball games. They're scoring some runs in bunches, and then they get shut out a lot. They've been shut out more than anybody in the National League, 13 times this year. And they are missing Manny Ramirez, Rafael Furcal, and Russell Martin out of their lineup, all 3 on the disabled list. So we're ready to go, and Scott Posednik steps in. He just came over from Kansas City, and the first pitch of the game is high, ball 1. Posednik doing a good job of getting on base for the Dodgers. 34 stolen bases overall on the year. Billy Hahn yells out strike 1.
This team's changed a little bit under Joe Torre. I mean, it looks like with the changes they're making, they're trying to create more havoc on the bases. They've lost some of their power.
2-1. Theriot at the top of the order, or excuse me, Posednik with 34. Theriot batting second, has 18 combined between his work with the Cubs and Dodgers. There's Mr. Torre. 3-1.
Dodgers coming in late in the morning from a horrible finishing game in Philadelphia where they had an 7-run lead and blew that game, which didn't help the Braves. And they're trying to get off to a good start, try to erase that feeling from their minds.
And a rare leadoff walk from Tim Hudson. Here's the defense behind Tim tonight. The outfield, Hinske, Ankiel, and Jason Hayward, who's back in there after missing a couple of games in Houston. Third to first, that is Conrad at third base. Gonzalez, Infante, and Gloss. Brian McCann doing the catching. And Ryan Theriot, the batter.
I think it's safe to say from this point on, I don't think Bobby's going to have the same lineup twice in a row the rest of the season.
I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Be some mixing and matching. The absence of Larry Wayne Jones Jr. Good idea to keep him close.
You want to know what runners have done against Tim? It's 6 out of 15 in stolen base attempts, which is not bad. That means they're not stealing much. They're not getting on base enough. But his delivery to home plate's pretty adequate to quick and giving Brian McCann and Ross a chance to throw runners out.
Posednik's one of those guys that when he runs, he looks more like a track athlete than he does a baseball player. Not going, and another pitch high. He's been missing up. Theriot came from the Cubs right at the trade deadline in exchange for infielder Blake DeWitt and 2 minor league pitchers.
He is a singles machine, or at least last year he sure was. Doesn't hit for much power, but stays up the middle, goes the other way, and just really drives pitchers nuts when he's at the plate doing his thing.
Tim made a start against the Dodgers in LA back on June 6th. That was a 4-game series, and the team split the 4-game series 2-2. Tim went 7 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, but got no decision in a 5-4 loss. And there's a strike, 2-1. Walks have not really been an issue for Tim during this good run he's been on. Out of this 4-game winning streak, 3 times he's only walked 1 batter. He did walk 3 against the Mets, but still only gave up 1 run. 2-2. Perhaps his best game of the year, his last start, too, John. 8 innings, a 3-hit shutout ball against San Francisco.
Yeah, 3 batters over the minimum. Braves needed it bad, and he just has been solid. He's 5-2 against the Dodgers, 11 appearances with 3.89 ERA. Really, only a couple of guys have given him trouble, is James Loney and Matt Kemp. Everyone else is pretty quiet.
Sednick just about got caught leaning there. A little flat-footed going back to first. Toward the hole, Infante looked to second, but made the right play going to first. No chance to get Sednick at second base. So 1 out, runner in scoring position for Andre Ethier. He's been a good hitter all year long for the Dodgers, but he's been hot recently, 6 for his last 13.
When this team's going good with all their pieces, all their players, I mean, this lineup with Ramirez being in it, with these 2 guys that are going to come up, it makes for a formidable lineup for a pitcher to have to be careful as you carve your way through this lineup.
Terrio with the 10th best average in the National League at 302. Excuse me, Ethier with that average. And he sends pop fly to center. And Keel is there. And a 1-pitch out there for Tim, 2 down. And that'll bring up James Loney, who I think, John, is one of the more underrated players in the National League.
He really is. I mean, he's had the flair for the dramatic as well, and being able to deliver in the clutch. And, you know, power number may be down, but 70 RBIs. Going to be a high average guy, you think. And again, the product of a lineup is so important for guys and who they have behind them, and if things are going good, you know, Rafael Furcal being on the DL does not help. So it causes guys to do things a little bit differently and try to drive the ball more or be more of the guy that picks up the slack. That's why we talked earlier about Chipper. You know, Chipper was starting to swing the bat.
Yeah.
And the pitchers fear Chipper, and they know that he's going to at any time string some hits and maybe hit some home runs. Now it's going to be interesting to see how the Braves react to their biggest, arguably their biggest stud and star on the team. And you know, Brooks is, as we talked earlier, scratched and crawled to make the team, and now he's in a position to
play a lot. 2-0 to Loney with Casey Blake on deck. Blake 0 for 7 in his career against Tim Hudson, and it could be with first base open. They're pitching around Loney here, who's been an RBI machine. Uh-huh. 3-0. Dodgers had the 3-game series in Philadelphia. They won 1 game, and they won that one 15-9. Then they got shut out 2-0. And then last night, as John said, had a big lead late. Led 9-2 going to the 8th inning. The Phillies got 4 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th, and 1. Out of play, swinging on the 3-0 count. Here's a game winner last night from Carlos Ruiz. Dodgers didn't get an out. A hit batsman, 2 walks, an error through the legs of Blake, and then a double. Jonathan Broxton, the Georgia native, has been struggling. (3-1) hit right at Gonzalez. Perfectly positioned, holding the runner close, and Loney hit a laser right at him. 1 left. We go to the bottom of the first. Braves coming to bat. The first, and here's Bobby Cox's starting lineup tonight. Omar Infante will lead it off. He'll be followed by Jason Hayward and Alex Gonzalez, who moves into the 3 spot tonight. Getting pretty good here at Turner Field. And Brian McCann in the cleanup position. Gloss, Hinsky, and Conrad. Rick Ankiel bats 8th. He needs to snap out of an 0 for 13. He's in, and Tim Hudson will bat 9th against Hiroki Kuroda on the mound for the Dodgers.
Yeah, the numbers are a little deceiving for him this year. 8-10 with a good ERA. Struggling in his last 7 starts. He's got 12 to 13 different pitches, I think, Joe. So,
yeah.
You don't know what's coming. But pretty impressive in Japan. He finished 74 of 251 games. He had a real good playoff series, and then he had not so good playoff series. But you know what the Braves need today, Joe? They need one of those restful games where they're up by 4, 5, 6. No more close ones for a while. See if they can't jump on.
Seems like forever since that's happened. That would be nice. Omar Infante, 2 for 13 in the series at Houston, but he only had 1 strikeout in those 3 games. He was putting it in play, but couldn't find any holes to speak of until he got the big double on Wednesday. And takes ball 1. Great average, hitting .330, 29 RBIs. 0 for 3 against Kuroda, who also made a start against the Braves back on June 3rd. He took the loss. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, and he walked 4, and that was really unusual because he only averages about 2+ walks per 9 innings. Line to center. Good start for Infante and the Braves.
Almost half of Kuroda's runs, 31 of 65, have come in the first 2 innings. So it tells you if you're a lineup, you got to attack them. Try to get some of those runs. It looks like it gets tougher as the time goes on. Only 2 guys in the lineup, though, until that hit. That hits off of him in his short stint against the Braves.
And those 2 guys are Gloss and Hinsky. Jason Hayward set out 2 games in Houston with a sore knee. Back in there tonight. The 2 games that he missed, plus a day off yesterday to get his knee right. 1-0, hitting .262.
You talked about the Dodgers' struggles, but since July 17th, their starters lead all of baseball in ERA. So the ERA of the starters have been solid with a 2.63. Braves currently 3.15. But this is a team that's kind of scratch your head and go, what happened? A lot of people predicted them to win the division. I know they've had some injuries, but a lot of talent on this team to be this far out this late in August.
High strike call, 1-1. That was a glimpse a minute ago of Rick Honeycutt, who makes his home in Ringgold, Georgia. He's the pitching coach and a good one.
I think him and Joe Torre wear their hats the same way. What do you think?
I know Rick's always worn his that way. Joe to first, Infante's back. Omar has 4 stolen bases. First got his sitting back a little more for him.
Oi.
2-1 the count. Kuroda can throw hard at times. Low to mid-90s, maybe 94 is his high. 3rd now on the rookie RBI list, with just 3 behind Ike Davis. Line down the line, but foul.
Talk about all those close games. Part of the reason the Braves in August are only hitting about 228. Got to step it up in that category. At home, though, things are a little bit different. They like batting at home, 268. But both teams have had their success when they score first. The Braves are 42-20 when they score first. The Dodgers 37-18. The numbers are pretty strange for the Dodgers after that, but as we talked about, possibly their closer is no longer their closer.
Back that pitch up a little bit on Jason. He gave up on it. And he's the first strikeout victim for Kuroda. Here's the Dodgers defense tonight with the newcomer Posednik in left, Matt Kemp in center, Andre Ethier in right, Casey Blake's the third baseman. Jamie Carroll filling in for Percal at short. Ryan Theriot at second. James Loney, a very good fielding first baseman. And 41-year-old Brad Osmus calling the balls and strikes. Alex Gonzalez is hitting 4 straight. And like you said, John, I think there's going to be a lot of different looks to Bobby's lineup with Chipper out of there. Would have to assume that that third spot in the order will be rotated around some guys too. Good breaking ball, 0-1.
You know, it will be, and the team has responded to all the different moves that Bobby has made. And anyone who thinks at home that it's easy to just fill out a lineup card, it's just gotten that much more difficult for him. And he's going to have to go matchups, he's going to have to go on gut feelings. And this truly will be, if the Braves make a run to the playoffs, one of the greatest team efforts that I've seen in a long time, because so many things have happened this year to really change the formula for Bobby.
Popped up right out in front of home plate. Loney wants it, and he makes the catch. 2 out. Kuroda doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. You might compare him to Tommy Hansen in a way. Since the All-Star break, he's made 5 starts, has an ERA of 2.90, and an opponent's batting average of only 204 against him, and yet he's 1-3. 35 years old, 6'1", 215, from Osaka, Japan. Brian McCann, fresh off his pinch hit grand slam on Wednesday, steps in. He's up to 17 homers and 62 RBIs. Strike on the corner. Is that homer? I tell you, it was smoke.
Talking with Brian after that, what a great situation he said he was put in, sitting all game. He gets to hit with the bases loaded, pretty much going to guarantee a sac fly. That's what you're thinking. To get 4 RBIs in 1 pinch hit, that is nothing better than that.
Come on, Mac. Come on, kid.
1-1.
I find this is going to be an interesting challenge for Mac now, because with Chipper not in there and some changing batting orders and stuff, he's going to have to be really patient, because he's going to be the one guy everybody singles out if you're a pitching staff, saying, hey, we're not letting this guy beat us in any situation. So it's going to test Mac's patience from here on in, as you know, he will be the guy that the Braves are looking to drive in the majority of the runs. Now that Chipper's not in there, familiar 3-hole.
I agree with you. I think that everything just moved down a notch from what managers will think about in terms of who they want to pitch to. It used to be that they knew they had to get an out from the first or second place guy in the order, so they didn't have to face Chipper, and those guys would get better pitches to hit.
And it's going to be interesting to see when, you know, Prado's going to take, let's say, another week once he's playing to get his stroke back, feel confident with that finger, and see what role he plays, because we're guessing, you know, that he may not be in the leadoff spot based on the way things are going, and seeing if he can't be a plug in that spot as well.
Yeah, that'll help a great deal.
Come on, Mac.
Did you ever have any finger issues when you were swinging? So I see your finger as it doesn't look real good right there, so you know how that is. And that people take for granted, you know, those little digits are important when they're holding onto the bat, whether that pinky's on the bat or off the, you know, at the end of the barrel or at the end of the knob. So it'll take him a little bit of time to get back to the hottest hitter that, you know, the Braves have had all year.
I'm going to venture a guess that Martin will not play pain-free the rest of the year. That finger will be painful to some extent the rest of the year. It's just dealing with it, taping it, fixing it so that it doesn't bother you as much when you're hitting.
Come on, Mac. Come
2-2
on,
now to McCann.
joking with him when it happened, to his response was better to his injury than my response, because when mine was pointing completely perpendicular to my hand, I thought I was out for the rest of the season when I dislocated it in Washington. And then pitching through that, not realizing what the pinky does in an actual throwing motion, your pinky's whipping as your arm throws. And it was awkward there for a couple starts to try and throw, even though you don't hold the ball with your pinky.
Good cut there. Didn't give up on that off-speed pitch. Still 2-2.
Baseball's a strange game. We talk about the other sports probably being obviously much more physical, but you play so long and so many games, you need every part of your body to be as good as possible, because any tweak, anything that changes your mechanics affects the results drastically, I think, in this sport more so than maybe some of the others.
Jammed him a little bit, and Ethier will have a play, and that'll do it for the Braves in the first. They get a hit, they leave a runner, and we go to the second. No score. At the end of this homestand for sure, and approach 2 million. Blake takes ball one. 0 for 7 in his career against Tim Hudson with 3 strikeouts. And he made just a horrible error last night when the Phillies were rallying. Looked like they got a double play ball that might help get the Dodgers out of the inning, but it went right through Blake's legs. Brooks Conrad tested, and it's a foul ball. That was close. Paul Immels, the third base umpire.
Tell you what, that's a gutsy heads up play right there. That's a last minute decision. You look, and he's gauging it, and he sees it's turning. Great play. Get a strike out of it instead of a possible single or maybe even a short double.
Yeah. He had no play. I've seen that. Oh, never mind. Just short. Funny hop. A good hop for Alex. 1 out.
Fans, it's time for the know-how question of the game built by the Home Depot. If you have a question, send us an email, and if chosen, we will answer it later in the game. Send your email to braves@peachtreetv.com. Please include your name. More saving, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. Speaking of Home Depot, there's possibly why some of the fans are not too far from here at the Falcons' first preseason game. So Atlanta sharing 2 events here at the same time.
Matt Kemp goes after the first pitch and slices one to right, base hit. Matt Kemp, one of the enigmas of the Dodger team. You just hard to figure out this guy who has so much talent and what it's going to take to motivate him to play to his level, to 100% level every night. Some nights he brings it, some nights he doesn't.
You know, LA is sometimes be fused with a laid-back town, and you know they've had Manny over there. But to your point, you know, a lot of guys confused on why he has not put out effort for the talent that he has, and it's starting to really bite him a little bit with his performance.
Well, he can hit. He can hit with power. He has a good throwing arm. Good outfielder. Can really run for a big guy.
And the guy at the plate probably gets more out of his talent and has played in this game as long as anybody and maximized his opportunity. Jamie Carroll's bounced around. Gritty player. Having a nice year and just always finds a way to get a spot to get in there and help his team. And you won't see him dog it at all. That's why he's playing this game still to this point.
Might be 2. Gonzalez steps on the bag. That was perfect. Tim Hudson, who gets more double plays than anybody in the National League, gets his first tonight. Bottom of the 2nd, no score. As we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning, Braves and Dodgers, no score. Joe Simpson, John Smoltz with you on Peachtree TV. Glad you're with us tonight.
Joe, you guys were in Houston. If you dropped a quarter on the street, how long could you leave it there before you could pick it up?
About 30 seconds.
So it wasn't any cooler there than it has been here.
No, it was awful. Thank goodness for the retractable roof. Troy was 3 for 13 in that series at Houston with a homer. 5 homers, 65 RBIs on the. Excuse me. That's not right. I know he's got more than 5 homers. 15 homers and 65 RBIs.
I went in and erased that.
Did you do that?
Accidentally.
Thanks, Skip.
Well, that's what happens when you use pencil. See, pen, you can't really do much to it.
The 0-2.
Boy.
Some of the damage against Kuroda out in LA on June 3rd was by Troy Gloss. Right down the line at Chavez Ravine.
And Troy was running a little better, feeling a little better than he is right now.
Lays off that breaking ball. 2-2.
Come big guy.
Dodgers are 9 games under 500 on the road, 23-32. Line to right center and hit pretty well. On the run, Kemp still going, and that's off the base of the wall. Troy's in at second with a stand-up double leading off the second, and that ball was hit well.
This pitch, you look at the way it comes over the middle of the plate, was not far enough away or down away from the barrel. He's able to stay back and drive it. Pitches that come into him that are slow, he loves, and pitches that stay out over the plate where he can get extended, he loves. Anything sharp or harder gives him a little bit of trouble right now, and that pitch was not very good by Kuroda.
Overscoring, hit.
So here's Eric Hinsky hitting .258 on the year with 9 homers. We'll try to get him over to third base. Not a breaking ball, but fouled it right off the mask of Osmus.
Early on in the game, his pitches have not been real crisp. Neither has Tim's, for that matter, as we're used to seeing him down in the zone. He's had some pitches up. And if you don't make quality pitches, I don't care who's up there, you've got to change the eye level of the hitter. You can't live in the middle of the zone. Hitters will tee off and do some damage.
Eric's been scuffling in recent days, just 2 hits in his last 28 at bats. But a chance here to make a good out by moving a runner up. Tried to pull that pitch at 93, but is running away from him, and they count 1-2.
And that was an example of a much better pitch. It had life and movement, and it didn't give Eric at all a chance to barrel it up. If you're Hiroki right now, you got to try to throw a split finger or something moving to try and get a strikeout and keep Troy Gloss at third. Troy needs to be at third to score a lot easier than he will on a single from second. He spoiled it. Yep.
Yeah, Hinsky hangs in there on that one. Say this heat certainly is a home field advantage right now, though, for Atlanta. John, check out Kuroda. I mean, he is sweating up a storm, and this is only his second inning. He's thrown 25 pitches. We saw some of the Giants pitchers wilt a little bit when they were here for that 4-game series when it was so hot and humid, too.
That's definitely an advantage for the Braves. Pitchers being used to this, and when teams from the West Coast come in, it's tough.
Billy Hahn flinched, but he didn't make the call. 2-2.
Now this is a strike 3 that the Braves were fortunate didn't get called. Made the pitch, good 2-seam fastball, comes back over the plate. Close enough to get the strike call. If he goes right back, then he takes it again. I'm venturing saying he didn't get the benefit of the call this time. So Eric should be swinging.
Looks like he might be getting one on the house here. Brad Osmus has not been back from the disabled list very long. He's missed most of the year with a bad back. But Russell Martin just went on the DL, so Osmus in there pretty much every day. 2-2. Popped up right above the plate. Osmus leaves the mask on and makes the catch. So that is a situation that has been troubling the Braves a lot lately. Leadoff doubles and not being able to get the guy over.
All I can say is credit the pitching staff for really keeping every game intact and in the game for their late inning heroics, because to your point, Joe, down the stretch, that's going to be vital that you execute. You're going to run up against too many good pitchers that are going to make it difficult for you to score. You've got to take advantage of what a team gives you when it's there.
Baby.
Well, you know better than anybody, especially about a pennant race too, and how those single runs just start adding up and how important they are for the starting pitcher. Conrad with 6 homers, 23 RBIs. Better left-handed than right in terms of his numbers.
Boy, come on, Con, come on.
Braves pitching, though, you're talking about, John. Best since the All-Star break right here in Atlanta.
And that's outstanding. I mean, that's with a few combinations, a few pitchers not being able to pitch for you. And a credit to them. And the guy that's on the mound tonight has been a big part, as well as Hansen, whose record does not reflect how good he's thrown.
Certainly doesn't. Good hitters count here, 2-0. A good cut, 2-1.
You know, the question was posed, we always mess with different things. If you knew as a pitcher you were going to get 3 runs and 3 runs only, you can deal with that. But what happens in a game is if it's tight, you pitch tight, and you don't know what you're going to get, it affects the way you pitch. But if you're given 3 runs in the first inning and that's all you get, the good pitchers know how to deal with that and work with it. It's the unknown that gets you a little bit out of your game sometimes. If it's 0-0 in the 6th, you might pitch a little more perfectly, trying not to give up that run versus knowing you can give up 1 or 2.
There's the ground ball. But it's a batter late. Kloss is at third base, but he's there with 2 out for Rick Ankiel.
Here's a perfect example. I mean, you got the pitcher up deck, even though he's a good hitting pitcher. You start pitching to these situations a little bit more in a tight game versus a game that you got a 3 or 4 run lead. You're going to take more chances. Here, you're not having to take any chances, knowing that the pitcher gets a hit. Well, tip your hat, because more than likely he's not.
Baby.
Brad Ausmus got to that quickly. And if you're the base runner at third there and the direction that baseball went, that's hard to tell depth perception wise just how far did the ball go.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is with Troy Glaus on third in his condition, it's going to have to take 2 guys falling down to get him home.
That and Ausmus is like another middle infielder back there too. He's very quick. One 1-0 to Ankiel.
Boy, no.
Ankiel didn't like that. Used it, Bobby.
I think Billy's had a rough start. I hope he bears down a little bit, because there's going to be a lot of complaining going on if those pitches that didn't get called are called balls, and the balls that are getting called strikes. And see what that does, Joe. You know, as a hitter, all of a sudden you got to start chasing the higher pitch.
Well, I don't know how he got that first call, because Ausmus was coming up out of his crouch to catch the ball. You're not going to get that strike when the catcher's having to stand up to catch it. Ankiel behind in the count, 1-2. Runner at third, 2 out.
Boy. Come on, Rick.
To your point a second ago, John, though, about if you got a 3 or 4 run lead, you go right after Ankiel, hoping you get him and then have Hudson lead off the next inning.
Correct.
If it's a close ball game, scoreless, maybe you're a little more careful to Rick without fear of walking him. 2-2. Kuroda makes the play, and the inning is over. Sawed him off. Gave up a leadoff double to Glaus, but is left stranded, and we go to the third, still scoreless.
Career wins at Turner Field. There you have it. Greg Maddux, 72. See the rest of them there. Tim Hudson with 37 and counting.
How about you and Glavin tied? That's pretty cool. You guys had the same number of wins here.
I think we both missed about the same amount of time. When I went to the bullpen and he left.
He went to the pen.
He went to the pen. From 2000 to 2004, something like that, and then I picked it back up.
Brad Ausmus will lead off the third inning for the Dodgers. Only 29 at bats since he came back from the disabled list. He's 6 for 29. 41 years old. He is 8th on the all-time list for games caught. To short. And Alex makes it look easy. 1 out. He's got that bowling ball pitch working all of a sudden.
Yeah, he made an adjustment from the first inning to now. A lot more ground balls. He just came out and was missing high. And you never know from start to start when you leave the pen if you're going to be right on from the beginning. And you just hope to not have that first inning big trouble inning. And every good pitcher knows they can make the adjustment from there. And so he survived it, and now he's right back on cue.
Well, Tim may be a good hitting pitcher. Here is his counterpart.
Can I tell you I feared this more than anything in my
Really?
Oh, I did not want to face a pitcher that had never gotten a hit. In this case, maybe having seen him not swing, or when I do get a chance to see him swing, but
0 for 36 with 16 strikeouts, make it 37 and 17. First strikeout for Tim. 2 down and back to the top of the order, and Scott Posednik. This Dodgers offense, talking about their Jekyll and Hyde act. A lot of runs, no runs. They're 8th in the league in runs scored as a team. They're 14th in homers and 12th in slugging percentage. So you talked about their power outage, especially without Manny in the order. But they're 4th in stolen bases.
Well, team chemistry is a huge thing, and they're having their share of issues of whether it's guys giving it their all, wanting to play. Obviously, they're 9-10 games back now, and things are a little different in the Dodger Blue Nation.
Another easy inning for Tim Hudson. He gets him 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the third inning. He'll lead off the third inning for Atlanta. Have a chance to win free airfare for 2 if the Braves hit a home run during the third inning. Visit PeachtreeTV.com/contest for official rules to enter and for a chance to win. AirTran Airways, go. There's nothing stopping you.
Joe, we had a little controversy last time I was on the air, and I want to clear the air for Jeremy. If the Braves hit 2 home runs in this inning, much to I'm not happy with it. Chagrin. He only gets that 1 trip.
Okay. No matter how many homers they hit.
No matter how many.
1 trip for 2.
Wasn't trying to cause a problem, but.
Tim Hudson, 13 hits on the year. 4 of them doubles. Hitting .236, leads off the inning. Bounces one into the stands.
That's where he likes it. He likes it in. He likes to pull it down the line and relive his days in junior college where he set all kinds of records hitting.
Oh, instead he goes to the right field, and Ethier robs him of a hit. He tried to cross up the defense there.
He sure did. Might have broke his bat on this one, hit it off the end of the bat. As most outfielders do, they don't respect the pitcher, and they play in and take a little bit more away from the pitcher as he doesn't often hit it over their heads.
Nice play by Ethier, and Omar Infante, the batter. He's single leading off the ball game. Braves have 2 hits. They also had a leadoff double from Troy Gloss last inning, but couldn't get him around. And he takes a curveball for a strike. To right field and well hit. Ethier has to give ground on this one. And just shy of the track makes the catch.
Well, Jeremy, put your trust in the young phenom here. See if he can't lift one in the air and reward you with a home run right here.
Well, he hit one in Houston that looked like a Jason Hayward home run from earlier this year. The ball just jumped off his bat into the Astros bullpen.
Come on, Jake. Come on, kid.
It was his first homer since the middle of June, and it was peppered. Jason struck out his first time up tonight. 2-0. Tied for 3rd in rookie home runs. He's in 3rd in RBIs. Good, right there. 2-1. 93 on that fastball from Kuroda.
Interesting to see what Jason takes from this year as he finishes out. Hopefully it's finishing out in a playoff run, because I think he's got a chance to learn so much from just the ups and downs and the injuries and the way he started. But this is a pivotal year for him to take notes.
Well, he needs to be one of the guys, heavy-duty guys, the rest of the way. He needs to get his rest and make sure that he's ready to go every day. And if he does have some nagging injuries, get those taken care of, because they need him in there every night the rest of the way. Another good swing there. Full count, 3-2. Alex Gonzalez would be next. To 3rd, and Blake throws him out in a 1-2-3 inning for Kuroda. This has been the Airtrain Airways home run inning. Be sure to register at PeachTreeTV.com/contest for official rules and for your chance to win. And we go to the 4th.
of excellence in early education. Fewest home runs allowed. Braves right up there. The Marlins and the Dodgers third.
How about the Rockies pitchers? Fifth.
That's impressive because of obviously where they play. Humidor, baby, the humidor.
Changed things, didn't it?
Still don't like it.
Think they dummied down the ball.
I just don't like the fact that one park has the humidor. Nobody else does. They decided to build it there.
Good point. Ryan Terrio leads off the fourth. He grounded out his first time up.
I like things to be fair. That's why when you and I play golf, it's fair. You know?
Yeah. Mano a mano. Even up. 2-1. Back to the mound, and Tim able to make the play, and had his legs crossed up, but he makes the play because it wasn't hit very hard. That game for Tim that you referred to, John, where he pitched against the Giants, and he didn't give up anything. He gave up 3 hits and a walk, but just mowed him down. I mean, every time they'd get a guy on, including a leadoff double his last inning, ground out, strike out, ground out. Only 2 balls. In fact, there was only 1 ball hit to the outfield in that game.
Yeah, he's had an interesting year, and whatever, statistics are the statistics, but he hasn't given up a run in the 3rd inning all year or the 8th inning all year. His 7th inning's been his toughest inning. But you just know that when he's out there, it just doesn't look like things are going to go awry. He's got everything under control. He's 1 pitch away from a double play when they get on. And as you know, Roger said, everything before when he was hurt a little bit, he was generating everything. He's only, what, 160, 170 pounds. So yeah, he defies gravity as it is when he's throwing a baseball. But this year, with his arm being healthy and he's worked so hard, he's staying back. His head's almost like a Maddox where it stays still, and he's delivering the ball where he wants to.
That one got away from him. 2-1.
And speaking of Maddox, I think he's the first guy since Maddox of September of 2000 to put together a streak of 4 games where his ERA is the span that it is.
And has gone at least 6 innings in those 4 consecutive starts. 2-1. 3-1.
And see, that's the only thing. Every once in a while, he gets underneath it, and he's rarely doing that. Before, he was doing that a lot when he was having some tough times. That's a product of the shoulder not being able to get up. Your arm gets underneath, your hand gets underneath the ball. That's not going to be the Tim we saw last year or year and a half ago before he got his surgeries.
Yanked foul. 3-2. Speaking of Maddox, we had that SunTrust note with career wins at Turner Field. Greg Maddox was 72, the most wins at Turner Field. 72-30 was his record at Turner Field with the Braves.
Not too shabby.
I don't remember any of the 30 losses. Another payoff pitch to Ethier in the air to right center. Jason says he's got it, but that ball's carrying like crazy, and he makes the catch on the track. Wind blowing out toward left center, and it may have helped that ball.
Well, he made the pitch he wanted to on the inner half on a 3-2 pitch, trying to maybe get a lockup, but he just drops the barrel on it. And as you said, the ball's carrying a little bit farther than the outfielders read when they were going after it.
Say, Andre Ethier is one of those guys, though, that you don't expect him to hit the ball a long way, and he can.
Ball really jumps off his bat. Got him from the Oakland A's. This is Loney, and he takes a strike. Is that for Milton Bradley? Got to check that out. Loney lined out his first time up with a runner at second to end the first. He's behind 0-2. Yeah, he was acquired from Oakland for Milton Bradley and Antonio Perez. Advantage Dodgers. Same spot, but on one hop this time to Alex Gonzalez. And Tim sets him down 1-2-3 again. We go to the bottom of the fourth, scoreless.
With the first name of Jason. I got 3 of them right off, like just like that. Boom, boom, boom. 3 of them. And that was one of them, looking at right there.
Marquis.
Yeah.
Jason Marquis.
Jason LaRue. No, it's Anthony LaRue.
Yeah.
I got 2 of them.
Well done, young lady.
Braves are going to score this inning. You know why?
Why?
Hamburger, a hot dog, and a French fry walked into a bar, sat down, and asked for a drink. The bartender said, "Sorry, but we don't serve food here." That's why they're going to score this inning.
Oh, big guy.
Hal, what do you think?
I don't know about them. I know that you're not going to score. Alex popped up his first time up. Has Hal given you a score yet?
Yeah, he gave me 3.5. I think it was 3.5. I don't know what that other finger was. 3.5 or 3? 3.
Rip, get.
2-1 to Gonzalez. Braves hitters who have filled in for Chipper in the 3 spot in the order this year have done pretty well. 301 combined average, 5 homers, 24 RBIs.
Boy.
Pretty good breaking ball, but he lays off. 3-1. Joey Votto stay hot against the Marlins. Shutting them out through 4, and the Phillies are at New York. No score. They're in the 6th. Hard hit, but foul.
How about that series where a little the brawl with
Reds, Cardinals.
A little chippy.
Yeah, it did.
And you know what's amazing to me? The two managers got thrown out.
Well, those two managers have had issues before, back when Dusty was with the Cubs. Payoff pitch is high, walked it. The leadoff walk. National League Central, back and forth affair. Just two teams, though, in contention there. Cardinals will do that, though. You know that team real well. It just seems like they'll go on tears like that. They'll go in and sweep Cincinnati and take over first place, and then they'll drop 3 or 4 or 5 in a row to a team you wouldn't expect it to happen to.
They've gone periods of time where they haven't scored, and that's not their lineup. Not with Albert Pujols and Holiday in their lineup.
Come on, Matt. Come on, kid.
Well, it's going to be hard for them to lose 5 in a row now because of the way Adam Wainwright's pitching. He's not going to lose. Awfully tough. McCann hit a broken bat fly ball to right that was caught by Ethier in the first. Brian with 29 RBIs in his last 30 games.
Boy. Come on, Matt.
Suddenly, Kuroda having a hard time throwing a strike. He's behind another hitter, 2-0. Dodgers have a losing record against the National League East. They're 11-15 after losing 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. Against their own division, got pretty good numbers. 27-15 against the West, and a lot of that against Arizona. They're 10-2 against the Diamondbacks. Good cut at a 2-0 fastball. Fouled it back 2-1.
There we go. That's more like it.
That's the Tory
when he sits, lid. Yeah, when he sits down, that's where he's got it. When he stands up, maybe.
And Rick. Now Rick's got his push back a little bit. Well hit to center. Kemp gets turned around, but has room. Gonzalez tagged, and he'll make it to second. Good base running by Alex Gonzalez. McCann hit that one about 390 feet, but got under it a little bit.
Just missed it, as you can see. I'd love to have had that swing over again. That pitch selection or pitch area was right to Mac's liking. You said, Joe, good base running. Get a runner in scoring position.
Troy hit the ball hard his first time up. A double to the base of the right center field wall. Let's take a single right here. 1-0. Braves already 0 for 7 tonight with men in scoring position. With men on, beg your pardon. He had 1 man in scoring position. That was Troy, and they were 0 for 3 there. 2-0.
Come on, kid. Come on, Troy.
It's kind of odd, too, because looking at the averages against Kuroda for the year, 265 for lefties, 256 for right-handers, but with men on base, teams are hitting 289 against him. So working out of the stretch has not been kind to him. Two and one.
I'm the guy.
There are those splits. But Atlanta 0 for 7 tonight with men on. Rhoda and Awesome's having a hard time here.
Happens from time to time. You want to make sure. Sometimes you may have missed a sign and you go through a few more and they shake off. And the catcher's just going to come out and make sure that, okay, what are we going to throw here?
Boy.
3-1 with Hinsky on deck. Pitches now for Kuroda. As we said last inning, he's sweating it up.
It's a 2-uniform, 2-shirt day for a pitcher.
Big cut from Troy on the 3-1 pitch. Cut it loose. Full count.
Hey, right on it, Troy.
And you got to do that as a pitcher because that jersey gets awfully heavy. Doesn't breathe very well, although it's a lot better these days than it was a long time ago. So you don't want anything on your body being real heavy and wet. You can already see he's lathered up pretty good.
Full count. Jammed him. But Blake's got time with Troy running and he throws him out. Gonzalez still at second base, and Eric Hinsky, the batter, he fouled out his first time up. Braves have a 4-game series with the Dodgers. It wraps around to Monday night here at Turner Field, and then the Washington Nationals come to town.
Haven't been following them as closely. Any word on Strasburg and his return?
He did come back and he made a start against the Marlins and got beat up pretty good. I know Uggla took him deep. It was what they called his worst start as a major leaguer. I don't think unless they skip him a day or something in the rotation or give him an extra day, I don't think he's scheduled a pitch here, but that remains to be seen. Eric lays off a high one, 2-0. And again, Kuroda behind in the count. His regular turn would come up Sunday for the Nationals, which means he would miss Atlanta. Washington's at home with Arizona this weekend. 2-0 to Hinsky, who's a good fastball hitter if he gets one close here. Yeah, 3-0. Joe Torre trying to get Brad Ausmus's attention. And they're going to put Hinsky on and work to Brooks Conrad. So there's ball 4, and that's the second walk of the inning. First and second, 2 out for Conrad, who grounded to second his first time up.
And again, this is going to be the challenge for the Braves lineup. There's going to be a lot of this going on where they pitch around guys to get to certain matchups they like. The lineup has taken some hits with missing some key guys. And, you know, that, say what you want about Chipper not being Chipper-like and having the monster years that we're used to. He was a presence in the lineup. You weren't going to just take it for granted that he was a automatic out when he was struggling.
And especially in recent days. Ball one to Conrad. Brooks's numbers coming into tonight's game: a .241 left-handed average, .227 right-handed. All of his homers have been hit from the left side. And without Chipper so far on the year, the Braves are 11-8 when he has not played. So a winning record. The 1-0 to Brooks. It's a borderline call against him. 1-1.
To his credit, when the pressure's been on, when he's been needed, that .235 season average really has not been reflective of how big of a player he's been for the Braves.
Big curve, misses 2-1. No batting gloves. Chipper calls him raw dog. You mentioned earlier a guy who had to battle to make this club in spring training, John. And it came down neck and neck between he and Joe Thurston. Both had good springs.
Boy.
3-1. Pregame Keel on deck. Again, this guy walked 4 against the Braves back on June 3rd. But he's 9th in the National League in average walks per 9 innings at a little over 2. So this heat and humidity may be getting to him a little bit. He's thrown 70 pitches. And the 3-1 hit hard, backhanded by Loney. Takes it to the bag, inning over. James Loney can get it done defensively at first, too. Braves leave a couple. We're still scoreless after 4.
Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jamieson Inn's Live Large, Pay Less.
Tim Hudson has set down 7 in a row and 11 of the last 12. They go to the 5th scoreless. Casey Blake leads it off. Grounded out his first time up. No runs, 1 hit for the Dodgers. No runs, 2 hits for Atlanta. 1-1. Mets have taken a 1-0 lead over the Phillies behind R.A. Dickey. They go to the 7th. Curveball. Haven't seen many of those tonight. Strike 2 call. Must be awfully fun when you've got that many weapons and you throw them for strikes whenever you want.
Well, he's definitely got everything he wants. I mean, that pitch wasn't one of his better ones, but it fooled the hitter. And look, it's a great weapon to have a sinker like Tim Hudson's. And when you keep it from the knees down, you need a lot of bad things to happen for him not to be successful.
Struck him out. Second strikeout of the night. Ran that one in on Blake.
Here's tonight's Toyota trivia question in honor of Friday the 13th. Name the only 5 Atlanta Braves with the first name Jason.
We had 2. That's pretty weak. Marquis and Hayward.
Yeah, you got Jason Schmidt that was in there.
That's a good one.
I mean, I had more. I just didn't. I wanted the
Oh,
first.
sure you did.
Yeah.
Like who?
I wouldn't have got those last 2.
I don't think so.
Mine were minor league guys.
I don't know Jason Perry. Neither does Hal. And Hal doesn't know him.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad. 0-2 to Kemp, who has the only hit of the night. He had a slicing line drive to right back in the second. And he takes a breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Tim Hudson. He's got 3.
Here's another pitch right here. That is not what you want to throw. That's a cement mixer, but it did enough to change the hip action of Matt Kemp, and he froze enough to get the strike 3 call.
Jamie Carroll grounded into a 6-3 double play his first time up. 9 in a row set down by Hudson.
Give you a perspective of how hot it was today, Joe. Went out to East Lake today, and you got to walk.
I
think 21 bottles of water in 18 holes. Something like that. Maybe not 21, but pretty close. It was hot.
Surprised you could make it walking 18. You in that good a shape?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. At least for walking.
Out of play. Well, our pal Greg Olson's in town for the Braves Alumni Sunday coming up this weekend. I know he was here to play some golf with you too.
Yep, he went right from the plane, rent a car to the first tee. Didn't take any practice swings. Made the tee time right on the button. And we had a fun round of golf.
The 1-2 to Carroll. Struck out the side. 92 on that fastball. Tim Hudson's on a roll. He's retired 10 in a row. Get him some runs. score here. Only 3 hits total between the two ball clubs. 2 hot pitchers going at it. Kuroda's pitched out of some trouble, and the Braves have left 4 men on base. Tim Hudson has been mowing them down. He has set down 10 in a row. And the bottom part of the order for Atlanta, Ankiel, Hudson, and then back to Infante. Rick had a broken bat comebacker to the mound his first time up. He's 0 for his last 14.
Rick.
Definitely a pitcher's strike zone umpire tonight. You get the ball, you rarely get as many calls up near the belt. So it's going to be very difficult if these pitchers stay in the quadrants that they are for these hitters to get locked in on anything.
Line to left field, base hit. Ankiel leads off the inning with a single, and he snaps that 0 for 14. So that's 4 innings the Braves have gotten their leadoff man on.
Right here, it stays back and actually slips coming out of the box. But the problem for Rick has always been laying off that belt high fastball that he really can't get his hands to. You look right here, he kind of rolls his ankle.
Ow. That had some sprained ankle written all over it. If it had any weight on it. Tim Hudson has 4 sacrifice bunts on the year. Takes ball 1.
Tell you what, I'd love to see him slug bunt right here. What it means, pull the bat back, make that third baseman who's right on top of him, get him back and just swing the bat as he comes in and the pitch comes in.
Now, Casey Blake's in there at softball depth right now.
Yeah, you've got to do this as a pitcher. You're told if the first or third baseman ever comes that close in, take the bat back. You don't have to swing hard. You can chop it over his head or.
Tim didn't get the bat out in front of him for that attempt. 1-1. Brian Snitker with an easy set of signs for the pitcher. You got to make the signs easy for the pitchers.
Come on, Joe. I thought you were going to give me grief about Jair Jurgen's pop-up that he didn't catch the other day. I ragged him for at least 10 minutes. He said he lost it when he was looking up.
I'll stay fair. Not this time. 1-2.
It's against the Giants. The pop-up that McCann had no idea where it was.
Right.
And Jair came running in. I'm like, yes, here we go. I'm sitting at home. He's going to catch it. And he didn't.
Yeah, he slightly overran it.
Yeah. He said as he was looking to Mac, he was running and he couldn't pick it back up in time. He said, well, you cost me big time.
Well, with 2 strikes, Blake has backed up. That'll give Tim a little more room to work if he wants to try to bunt again. I'll be surprised if he's not bunting. And he bunted at it and missed. So the Braves didn't get a runner over after a leadoff double in the second. And can't advance man here on a sacrifice. So they're 0 for 2 in those fundamental situations tonight. That'll go as a strikeout for Kuroda. His second of the night. Omar Infante.
And Tim was just too anxious to try and get a perfect bunt down. Pitcher's not exactly a great fielder. You know, sometimes the ball right back at the mound is just as good. He's going to be a little disappointed. Try to forget it so he can go back out and pitch. But got to get the bunt down to help yourself and to help your team.
Especially in a scoreless ball game in the 5th. Throw over to hold Ankiel. Osmus has always been a pretty good throwing catcher. He's got a real quick release, but since he's come back, not that it's all his fault, but he's 0 for 6 on base stealers. Omar drops a bunt down. And Kuroda does throw low, but it's dug out by Loney. Omar was bunting for a base hit, but he didn't get it near enough the line to beat it out. But it gets the runner to second with 2 out for Jason. They're going to score that as sacrifice. But it was obvious he was bunting for a hit. Rick Honeycutt out to talk to Hiroki Kuroda. Rick's got his hat pulled down so we can't see his eyes, so we can't tell what he's saying.
I wonder how much, what do you think? How much Japanese do you think he knows?
Rick?
Yeah.
Oh, a lot. He grew up there around Chattanooga. And again, makes his home in Ringgold now. Hayward tonight took a call, 3rd strike in the first. Hit one a little bit off the end of the bat his last time up. A 2-hopper to Blake at 3rd.
Okay.
Jake's one right there. Was looking for something else. 0-1. Next pitch for Kuroda will be his 80th. Tops on the club in this situation. But it'll take a 2-out hit to get Ankiel home. Popped up. Out behind short. Carroll going out. Podsednik coming in, and Podsednik calls him off and makes the catch. So again, the Braves leave a runner on, this time in scoring position. We've played 5. No score. John, we're going to need you to define something for some of our fans. We've had some emails flooding the computers, phone calls into the switchboard. As Osmus takes ball 1. Cement mixer. People want to know what a cement mixer pitch is.
Well, when you're doing construction and you're mixing that cement, getting ready to pour it out there, that barrel spins in a direction that you don't want a baseball spinning, and that basically is it's spinning up there and it's just sitting up there. And if a hitter knows it's coming, now the one that gives a hitter trouble is the one that's too high. But when you throw a slider and you want to give up a long home run, you throw a cement mixer, and it doesn't have the tilt or the spin that goes away from a right-hander. Just kind of spins as that barrel that's mixing up the cement does for the highways.
Easy play for Infante. One out in the 6th. So basically another description for a hanging slider.
Correct.
Okay.
You get underneath it, you create side spin, and all the ball does is start over the middle of the plate and stay right there. Now there's the backup slider, which is almost it's really not hittable because it actually goes into a right-hander, but no one's been able to perfect that.
If you could throw that when you want to,
it's unhittable. Some would say the gyro ball has a little bit of that effect, but
who throws a gyro ball?
Well, I don't know that anybody does, but Dice K over in Boston has the one that they say throws a gyro ball. But some guy came out with this theory of how you throw it, and
so it's kind of like a screwball in a way.
Yeah, you're throwing it with spin, you're breaking it like a slider, but somehow it starts out and then goes back into a backup slider and does some crazy thing. It's just impossible. You can't perfect it.
Oh, and 2 to the pitcher, who's 0 for 37 on the year. 1-2 the count. Reds now 7-1 over the Marlins. Florida's been playing pretty good baseball. Reds are mad after they got swept, leading at 7-1 after 5. Contact, but foul. Okay, show us what you're talking about.
Well, when you're throwing a slider, okay, you want it breaking this way, and if you break it straight down, the ball is just going to spin in the middle of the plate. You want it spinning away from a right-hander if you're a right-handed pitcher, and you want to create that movement, but you don't want to create that cement mixer. And that's just cause you to go around the ball like this versus staying on top and cushioning the elbow.
2-2 now to Kuroda. He checked his swing there. What was harder on your arm, slider or curveball?
Well, nothing's harder on your arm unless, well, you know, I would say a slider when thrown incorrectly is probably harder because it has the more snap.
Called third strike on Kuroda. He's 0 for 38 and he's complaining. But that ball was outside. Strikeout number 5 for Tim.
When you throw a curveball, the velocity of the curveball and you create spin, you basically have the luxury of using the seams and breaking it, so your arm's going to have more of an L. When you throw a slider, you want to get more out, and it's going to have a tendency sometimes to have more of a banging with your elbow. Both want to cushion it, but the slider has the greater chance to have an impact that would hurt you more than the curveball.
So why so many that throw sliders and so few that throw curveballs?
Well, the curveball is a field pitch. A lot of guys will wrap it behind them. It's a pitch that has been a lost art. Hansen has one of the best curveballs I've ever seen. The slider is a pitch that's so hard to hit when it's going good. The curveball is a built-in change of speed. With tonight's umpire, if you got a curveball, you're not giving up a hit because you can start it high, hang it, and he's going to call it. A lot of umpires will not call that pitch. They'll call it more where it ends up, you know, in the catcher's glove. So the curveball is a dying art.
Base hit for Posednik. Fast runner aboard with 2 out. It's only the second hit for the Dodgers and snaps a string of 12 in a row set down by Hudson.
You mentioned a couple guys, or a guy that's having a great year, Adam Wainwright. That's the reason. He can go to the curveball anytime he wants to get outs. Him and Carpenter have 2 of the best curveballs in the game. And, you know, that's just a pitch hitters don't see very well, and it throws off their timing, but there's not a lot of guys. I mean, everyone knows about Barry Zito. Barry Zito throws the big curveball, left-handed. That's what he's done. But for the most part, most pitchers are going with the power pitches out of the zone that look like a fastball, and the hitters go to get it, and it's not there.
Sednick extends his hitting streak to 10 games with that single. Just about count on him running here with 2 out.
I used to get on Tommy a lot because I always say, why didn't you throw your curveball? Your curveball is a pitch you can throw anytime. The hitters are never going to hit at. They're looking at your fastball changeup. But again, it's a confidence pitch that not everybody feels they can release it at the same place every time. Because you're almost, it's not like you're casting a fishing line, but you're casting that ball out in an area where you want it to break. A slider has less room. You can throw it at a release point of your fastball and get it in that shorter distance area.
Another throw over. Glavine was at the ballpark tonight as well, doing some work on Braves radio. He had some arthroscopic surgery on his left shoulder on Thursday.
How about that? Retire your jersey and go get your shoulder operated on.
Outside, ball 1. Well, he had to throw out the first pitch the other night, he and his boys, so you had to be ready for that.
That's right. We always used to have the saying, our shoulders being similar in the sense that we threw a lot of innings. And he always used to say he had a little rat in there biting on his
chewing on him?
Yeah, chewing on him. We all have those rats in there, and so when he went under, I asked him if they got the rat, and he said, yep, they got him. Lured him in and got him out.
Scott Podsednik wearing his penguin glove. In the air to right. Right to Jason Hayward. He puts it away, and the 2-out single amounts to nothing. Tim Hudson has been outstanding. He shut out the Dodgers on 2 hits in his 6 innings. O'clock, Braves and Dodgers. That'll be Derek Lowe against Ted Lilly, who just came over to LA from the Cubs. The series continues on Fox Sports South on Sunday and Monday. Day game Sunday, night game back on Monday. Then Monday game on Peachtree TV. And that Monday night game, Tommy Hanson against Chad Billingsley. And then the Nationals come to town. Those 3 games are on Sports South. Hope you'll make your plans to be with us. Jair Jurgens and Vincente Padilla for the day game on Sunday. Need to hydrate. Although it's supposed to break a little bit. I think so. I think the high for Saturday and Sunday is supposed to be in the 80s. Let's hope so. Alex Gonzalez has popped up and walked. Sends that one out of play. 0-1.
You know, to be honest with you, if I knew I was drawing a Sunday game, and some of the hottest places were not here, were in Cincinnati and in the old days when they had the turf, but you know, you try to hydrate the night before, get your rest, and then you just prepare yourself to concentrate in those innings to be efficient, get underneath the dugout, get to the fan, and get that cool air on you as soon as possible. And you hope that your team rewards you with some long innings, because it does wear on you as time goes on. And, you know, even in a night tonight, it's not super hot, but it's humid.
Would you try to get near the Giant fans?
If I was in San Francisco, no, because then that would be with the opposing, you know, fans. But here, yes, here the Giant fans.
To short. Carroll quickly to first, one out. Brian McCann has flied out twice and just missed hitting one out of here his last time up as he backed Kemp up onto the warning track in center field. Tim Hudson just needs something to work with.
Everybody that I run into, even out of the game, Brett Saberhagen, got a chance to play with him down at Lake Tahoe, and he kept saying, I don't know how you guys did it in Atlanta. Because he would come in and it would be boiling hot. And these West Coast teams, as you said, it's a big disadvantage. They don't deal with these temperatures. And, you know, down the stretch, we had a lot of success in our pennant runs, surviving the heat, and the other teams couldn't.
That's surprising coming from him, because he broke in with Kansas City and spent a lot of years with the Royals in a ballpark that was excruciatingly hot on turf. Hey, way to go, Mets.
That was an outstanding split finger fastball. The bottom dropped right out of that, and you don't see Mac look too fooled too often. And as we mentioned, you don't get this guy earlier. Early in the game, he gets a little bit tougher, and right now he's been tough on the Braves.
Breaking ball lifted to left. Sednick has it measured. 2 out. That game at New York, R.A. Dickey, the knuckleballer, threw a one-hit shutout, complete game shutout, and the only hit for the Phillies was by Cole Hamels, pitcher. And it is beginning to sprinkle.
Can you imagine? I mean, just even to throw a one-hitter from a knuckleballer and yet to give up a hit to the pitcher.
Get one out of here, Troy. Go ball. Not this time. And in the raindrops, Sednick makes the catch, and the Braves go in order. We head to the 7th. 0-0. Scoreless. Tim Hudson will face the heart of the Dodgers order. Ethier, Loney, and Blake. Joe and John with you from Turner Field, and just a light mist falling at the moment. Checked his swing, but he went, didn't he? Yes, he did. Ethier's flied out twice. Last time he chased Jason Hayward all the way to the wall in right center. To Hopper, to Infante. And a tough out, retired to start the 7th. Well, folks, there was some history on this date, actually yesterday. 23 years ago yesterday. You know what happened 23 years ago yesterday, John?
23 years ago yesterday, no.
August 12th, 1987.
Oh, it's coming to me. It's coming to me. There was a trade on August 12th in 1987.
Doyle Alexander to the Tigers for one John Smoltz. That was 23 years ago. Can you believe it?
I can remember it like it was yesterday.
Where were you? What?
I can't remember.
What, no, I mean, what? That's better than any joke you've told me.
I was in Glens Falls, New York, suffering through a season, and I remember getting 2 notes in a 5-minute period. A note from my dad, call home immediately, and then a note from the Detroit front office, call the front office when after the game's over. So I called my dad first, thinking something was wrong, and that's when he told me I'd been traded.
Now, how did you get a note in those days?
In Double-A,
wait a minute. And Keel got turned around a little bit, but he's got room. Winds died down a little bit. That helped. 2 out.
They just came down to the dugout. One of the clubhouse kids handed me 2 pieces
a real
of
note.
paper. Yeah, and I threatened to drive home and do something to my dad if he was kidding, because he was joking a lot. And shoot, my life changed immediately right after that, and the rest was history. I had the time of my life after that trade, because I was struggling. I was 5-11, team in Glens Falls, New York.
And is that the New York Penn League?
That would have been the Eastern League, and 285 down the left field line with a big net. 3 something down the right field line. There was a corner at 420 in the right field corner. It was an oblong shaped field. That was the franchise. The White Sox had 340 home run hit guys that year, and I could see why. Ron Kittle and was it Luzinski and somebody else? I forget the 3 players.
Wouldn't have been. It would have been Ryan, probably his son, not Greg.
Yeah, and it just was
up the middle. Alex, nice play. To his feet, throws him out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tim Hudson. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Braves just need a run, it looks like. Just one.
2 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Braves Clubhouse store at the CNN Center. For more information, call 404-523-5854. Did you hear my little faux pas with Ernie the other day?
No, I didn't.
Well, tried to be, Johnny Meteorologist. Tried to say that the precipitation was falling. I said the precipitation was falling. I messed it 3 straight times. I messed it up. So I finally said the rain had stopped.
Oh, good.
And Glavin knew what I was talking about the whole time. He texted me 5 seconds later, says, I followed you the whole way.
He knew. Well, that moisture is falling a little heavier.
It is.
Eric Kinski leads off the 7th. And Billy Hahn says he went, didn't ask for help. 0-1. Kuroda's thrown a 3-hit shutout to this point. Leadoff single in the first to Infante. A double to Gloss leading off the 2nd. Single to Ankiel leading off the 5th. In the air, but to shallow right field. And Ethier will make the catch. 1 out. Blakinski got one to hit there and just missed it. So when you got traded and went from Glen Falls, New York to the Braves organization, where did you go?
I went to Richmond. In a trade like that, when you get traded for a major leaguer, you got to go up one level, I guess. And I was in AA, went to AAA, and faced the Tidewater Mets, who were loaded. They had 8 out of the 9 hitters were hitting 300 or better. And I just was out of my element. And I think I did well for a little while and then just got lit up in the 4th. But what a year that turned out for me to be in an organization that had so many more opportunities for success. A lot more coaches, a lot more detail.
Really?
Yeah. Detroit had nothing. 1 pitching coach, roving pitching coach, 1 manager at each team, and that's it. And I came over here to the Instructional League, and it seemed like they had 3 of everything. And I benefited, a whole lot from the experience of Bobby getting me over here as GM, and then, of course, managing me for 20-some years. And like I said, a time of my life.
To center and deep. Kemp to the wall. Gone! Brooks Conrad again!
It is the 7th inning, Joe.
Raw Dog strikes again. Great extension. Got it out front. Just enough.
That eternal alarm clock goes off about every time at this time of the game. Been fun to watch.
I'll say. We were talking, John, early in the game about Matt Kemp having all this ability, but just you never knew night to night whether or not he really wanted to play. And a guy like Jamie Carroll for the Dodgers, how if you could somehow combine their Jamie Carroll's desire with Kemp's ability, what kind of a great player you would have. And Brooks Conrad's kind of that guy. I mean, he's got this tremendous drive to succeed. He stuck with it. Great perseverance, sticking with it for so many years in the minor leagues. And he's a guy who's making the most of it and so appreciative of the opportunity. 1-2 to Ankiel.
Talking to Brian McCann, said what an awesome teammate too. Just does everything the right way, and you love to see that. And in this game, it's all about stats, and sometimes it's all about the freakish athlete that can go out and do certain things. But to your point, hardworking guys get noticed and appreciated.
Strikeout number 3 for Kuroda as Ankiel goes down. Just amazing. Especially when you think about how many pinch hit appearances he gets from the 7th inning on and how clutch he has been. And clutch tonight in a starting role. Easy, Tim. Side retired. Hudson will hopefully go back to the bench and rest up a little bit because he's now got a 1-0 lead thanks to the home run by Conrad, his 7th of the year.
Sponsored inning is brought to you by Active Pest Control. Active provides North Georgia with reliable customer care, including pest and termite inspections and customized treatment. Visit callactivetoday.com.
Top of the 8th, 1-0 Atlanta. The know-how question of the game built by the Home Depot comes from Nathan. And the question is, how can you tell what pitch was thrown by just watching on TV? Well, for us here, you've got to know kind of the arsenal of the pitcher first. You've got to know what he's capable of throwing. And then just from experience, having tracked it before, not every pitch is going to be perfect when you're calling a game, but when you're watching at home, you're looking for break, velocity, and location. For example, if the pitch has a lesser speed on it and breaks, it's more likely a curveball. If it's in the 80s, it's a slider, high 80s, and then, of course, a fastball that moves, a two-seamer. A right-hander goes in. A right-handed two-seamer goes into a right-hander. So really the familiarity of seeing the pitch is as important as being able to call it on TV.
Plus that tilt helps too. When you've seen so many pitches, as many as John has seen, especially from the mound, you know when you see a different angle going down on a breaking ball, you have a pretty good idea. So Hudson has a 1-0 lead. He was digging a little dirt out of his spikes before the inning started. He just made that sprint down the line, too, before he went out there.
It's the time where it just gets enough annoying for a pitcher, because when you have your spikes and you're accustomed to the dirt reacting a certain way, all you need is your landing foot to slide just a little bit, and it's going to get you off kilter a little bit. And I think pitchers, once they get their landing spot established, you know, it's pretty much the same spot each time.
For Tim Hudson, counting tonight, his last 5 starts, he's given up 2 runs in 35 2/3 innings. You don't want any slipping going on.
No, after the inning's over, you always go in, you let the trainers get the tongue depressors that they cut and dig that mud out of your cleats.
Right off the thumbs. 1 out. Takashi Saito and Johnny Venters get loose in case they're needed. Jamie Carroll, the batter, he has hit into a double play and struck out.
Braves have an interesting record. When they score 3 runs, they're 8-8. When they score 2 or fewer, they're 2-26. And when they score 4 or more, they're 56-14. Yeah. Obviously, the game's 1-0 right now.
Now that 4-run mark is pretty magical. But at least Tim's got 1 to work with. Kuroda spot is due up next, but John Gibbons has a bat. He's in the on-deck circle as Jamie Carroll had to limbo out of the way of that one. Kuroda was just a little upset when he came back to the dugout.
Well, you know the scenario. Obviously, you're going to get pinch hit for. He hasn't been given many runs, and it's been a frustrating stretch for him where he has not pitched that bad, but 1 in 5.
Here was his reaction back to the dugout.
Just hope you don't get hurt. We all go through it as pitchers. Just don't want to do something to hurt yourself.
And that is Jay Gibbons on deck, not John. And that would be Brad Ausmus' spot in the order. Kuroda's due up 4th this inning. Out of play. Jonathan Broxton blew the game last night, took the loss, and it's pretty obvious that the reports we heard before the ball game that he had been demoted, no longer the closer for the Dodgers, is accurate, as he is now warming up and might pitch here in the 8th.
You know, he's blown 5, but they've been big 5. You know, I mean, blown saves are blown saves, but when they're in the way that they happened, it starts playing on your psyche. After the All-Star break, he's got a 10.13 ERA. and only 2 saves in 5 opportunities. Before the break, 19 out of 21 with a .211, which will get it done.
Right back through the middle. Carroll with a base hit. And he slips as he rounds first. So the tying run aboard. That's the 3rd hit of the night for the Dodgers.
Getting a little slick out there.
And here's Jay Gibbons, guy we saw play for the Baltimore Orioles, was a pretty good player. He just got called up by the Dodgers, and he's 5 for 10 with a homer since he got called up. 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Takes low.
I had a promising, I thought, promising future with Baltimore. Could hit for power.
Carroll's got good speed at first. Not going. Chopper over the middle. See if they can turn it. Tag the runner. Throw to first. Oh, not in time. Good try by Omar, and that call at first will bring Bobby Cox out of the dugout. Gary Darling is the umpire at first.
Good play by Omar. And there's really nothing Jamie could do. I think he was safe. Yeah.
Yep. Good call. And Ronnie Belliard will pinch hit for Kuroda. Belliard hitting .227 on the year, 6 for 35 as a pinch hitter. Tough out. Yes, he is related to Rafael Belliard. I believe a cousin. Been with the Brewers, Nationals. Last year had some big hits for the Dodgers after they picked him up. Helped get them to the postseason. You remember them in the postseason, don't you, John?
Yep.
They somehow made it to the postseason last year and then somehow beat the Cardinals. To third. That's a foul ball, says Paul Emmel. That one looked like Brooks Conrad fielded that one right on the line.
Yeah, this is a tough one here. Yeah.
No.
It was foul.
Yeah, Brooks was standing on the line. Glove had it in foul territory. If it goes over the bag, it's fair, but it didn't. 0-2 now to Belliard. One nothing Atlanta. Who just joined us, Brooks Conrad, a one-out homer in the 7th. Only 7 hits total in the game. 3 for the Dodgers, 4 for Atlanta. Got him looking. Belliard knew it. Strikeout number 6 for Hudson. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Braves up 1-0. Dodgers up 1-0. We go to the bottom of the 8th, top of the order. We'll see a new battery for the Dodgers. A.J. Ellis checks in to do the catching. And now on the mound, a Georgia native born in Augusta, lives now in Waynesboro, Georgia. 6'4", 300-pound Jonathan Broxton. 26 years old, in his 5th year in the big leagues. But he has had a rough time of it lately, John.
Is that right? 300 pounds?
Yeah.
Wowzers.
No, Blauser was like around maybe 185, 190.
So he's bigger than CC.
Yes.
I didn't look at it.
Now, the listed. I'd like to have to put him on the scale side by side. Omar Infante is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Broxton throws hard, but lately finding the strike zone's been a problem for him. That one's in there for a called strike. He has 21 saves.
Did I hear Hal correctly that the Mets was their 18th shutout as a team?
18th.
Wow.
Dodgers are in the process of being shut out for the 14th time by an opponent. Run, Omar. Chopper off the plate to get it going. A little insurance wouldn't hurt.
Tell you what, Jamie Carroll could have just as easily thrown that ball into the stands. Got to get a quick release. Ball's wet. He made a nice play. It's not in time to get the runner.
Hayward's 0 for 3. And Jason's averaged down to 259. He's 5 for his last 33.
Take a look.
Nowhere near. Ball 1.
You know, I haven't seen him pitch much, but it looks like to me that the freedom on the fastball is not there. Looks like he's actually having trouble with release point and almost pushing the ball to home plate. He throws in the higher 90s, and the gun's reading 94, 95. So, you know, his confidence has been shaken. It just doesn't look like he's going through the catcher with his fastball, leading to some problems. And that was a little bit better, but you see the velocity's not where I would think that the Dodgers, you know, and I don't know. I haven't seen him throw all through the year, but you know, when you lose that battle of your role and then you have to reprove it or figure it out in a different inning, it can be pretty. It can be pretty tough.
One and 1 the count. In the air down the line, Pasednik in fair territory makes the catch. Infante tagged, but he'll hold. Hayward's 0 for 4, and the batter will be Alex Gonzalez. No, that's what it looked like last night when I was watching the end of the game with the Phillies. John, it was, I mean, if it's possible for a guy to be throwing 93 and 94 and still aiming the ball, that's kind of what it looked like to me. That he wasn't really just cutting it loose and following through like you're used to seeing him do. 36 saves last year for the Dodgers. But a rough time lately. There goes the runner. Fouled back. Braves played a little hit and run.
Had a huge
Omar
jump.
have to go back to first. That was probably a straight steal, John. Otherwise, Omar wouldn't have gone in there head first.
Yeah, he had a big jump, and you know, as a hitter, if you see the pitch that you can go ahead and do something with, you're Bobby encourages you to swing, but he timed him pretty good. He hadn't looked over there. He's got a high leg kick. Most closers do. Be nice if we can put another run on the board for Billy Wagner.
Yeah, it looks like Wagner will work the ninth. It appeared that Hudson was headed down the tunnel. Tim's only thrown 91 pitches. Toward the hole, but cut off by Blake. They'll get the lead runner, and that's all. Braves do not have a hit tonight with a man on base. They are 0 for 13.
Right there, he got away with really a bad breaking ball. Almost a cement mixer, a rolling slider that just stayed in the strike zone.
Brian McCann 0 for 3. He's flied out 3 times, once to each outfielder.
He sure has put down the right fingers. The catcher is calling a shutout. He'd come into the clubhouse blowing on his hands. We go, "What are you doing?" He said, "My fingers are hot."
Wait, Mac.
94 fastball wide of the mark, 1-0. Little outside, ball 2. Rain continues to fall. Getting a little tacky out there on the mound. You can see Broxton kicking the dirt out of his spikes. Wagner ready to go. In the air to center. Kent goes back again. And on the track this time he makes the catch. But Brian McCann's hit about a mile and a half, 2 miles of fly balls tonight. But an 0 for 4. We go to the 9th. Billy Wagner on to finish it. Braves up 1-0. We go to the 9th inning, and a reminder, fans, stay tuned after the game for the AT&T game summary. AT&T, rethink possible. Billy Wagner on to close it for Tim Hudson, who fired 8 innings of 3-hit shutout ball, walked 1 batter. That was the leadoff man in the ball game, and struck out 6.
Well, I know another franchise has coined cardiac kids, that being the Cleveland Browns, I believe, but you have to get your heart monitors out for the rest of the year if you're a Braves fan, because it looks like a lot of games are going to be like this, and some great pitching, exciting ball games, and hopefully they can finish this one off.
Two lefties due up this inning, Posednik and Ethier. Posednik 1 for 8 in his career against Wagner. And lefties on the year against Billy hitting under 100. They're hitting .054. 2-0.
We'd like to get this done because the radar doesn't look as promising as we thought, as the heavy stuff's going to come soon.
There's a strike. 2-1. 95. Mets have already beaten the Phillies. Florida getting beat 7-2 in the 8th. Went upstairs. 2-2. Posednik, Terrio, and Ethier here in the 9th. Another left-handed hitter, Loney, if anyone reaches. The 2-2. Breaking ball. Hit off the mound and into center field. Base hit. Looked like a hanging slider. He'd thrown the fastball right by him, and then the slider was left out over the plate. Tying run aboard.
Yeah, I mean, you get this off the plate and he's got no chance, but you give him a chance to actually stay on the ball with that pitch. He wasn't catching up to the heater. You want a do-over right there. But hopefully this won't bother.
Well, let's see how Joe Torre plays it if he wants to play for the tie here and bunt him over. Posednik reached on a walk leading off the game, but didn't run. He did advance on a ground out. He also singled in the 6th and didn't run. Going here, though, and they play a little hit and run, and it's fouled off. No balls, 1 strike.
When you're in a 1-run game, I mean, Billy Wagner's a strikeout pitcher. More than likely, he's not going to get ground ball double plays. And so that first hitter is so important. When you go after that first hitter and you can get him out, you can really set yourself up. In a 1-run game, now you're more concerned about the guy getting the second. And for Billy, you know, in 1-run saves, obviously being the toughest ones, he's had a few lately of 1-run caliber games, and it can play with your mind a little bit. So the leadoff hitter getting on, all you got to do is get this second guy out, and things start playing better for you. You don't add in your mind what's about to happen next.
He pitched Wednesday and had a blown save in that one against Houston, but then got the win, and the Braves got all those runs in the 10th. In the air and playable to right. 1 out.
And I think the reason you didn't see a bunt right there is, as you mentioned, you got left-handed hitters coming up, and he's been so tough on left-handed hitters that I don't think Joe wanted to play the odds of 1 out and 2 more guys being left-handed to knock him in.
And the old adage by the so-called book is you play to win on the road because you don't get the last at-bat, and you play to tie if you're at home. Don Mattingly, the hitting coach there next to Joe. And here's Ethier, 0 for 3 tonight. And he came in with 6 hits in his last 13 at bats. 0 for 2 in his career against Wagner. Huge lead for Posednik. Just missed 1-0.
Braves are 54-3 when leading after 8. In their home series, an astonishing 15 wins, 1 lost series, and 2 splits. Unbelievable stretch that they have been involved in. When you think about how bad they were early on in the season, in the midst of a 9-game losing streak.
Yeah, that was just a real rut. Glad that's behind them. Count even, 1-1. Good pitch.
Kind of a low 3/4, hides the ball. It seems like the hitters from the left side just don't see it nearly as much as the hitters from the right-hand side.
Another throw over. Got to do that just to keep Pasednik honest. On the corner. 1-2.
This is pretty much perfect. He got the benefit of the call.
In the dirt, but Pasednik had to freeze. He couldn't tell where that one went. Good stop by McCann. 2-2. Andre Ethier with runners in scoring position. This isn't too bad. 327 hitter. 2-2 the count. Target is away. And he took a little off, but Ethier got a piece of it. Spoiled a good pitch.
Okay, I'm definitely going to go with the heater away. After those 2 pitches slowed the mind and the bat of Mr. Ethier. He spoiled a really good one. He's changed his eye level. And now I'm going to say Brian and Wags are going to go to the heater.
If he goes away, he doesn't have the luxury of taking it if it's close. Two and 2 count with that fastball away like he made a minute ago. Ethier's going to have to offer just to protect the plate. Got him picked off. Good throw gets him. Good throw got him. Pasednik guessed wrong, and Troy Gloss made a nice toss down to second.
What a huge play right here. Talk about stress relief. Not a better feeling in the world. Just make the throw, and Troy did. And now they're 1 pitch away from shutting out the Dodgers.
Got him. Game over. What a start to this homestand. Tim Hudson and Billy Wagner combine on a 4-hit shutout. And the guy asked to take Chipper's place at third base has the big hit. Braves win the first of 4 with the Dodgers, 1-0. Back with more right after this.